Welcome, everyone, to the Goddess Breath podcast. I'm Dr. Mari Castle, and I'm super excited. I have a guest on today who's a friend of mine that I want to have her share what she offers for people to help with growth and transformation. And Juliana, do you want to just say hello and then we'll do a little quick breathing before we get into the good stuff?
Yes, Marie, thank you so much for having me. It is an honor and it's beautiful to just have another conversation with you here.
Aw, thank you. Yeah, it's always good to connect, right?
Yeah.
So, before I go into just sharing with those that are listening about kind of how I find it interesting how we had met a long time ago and then kind of got back together, um, reconnected. But I think I'm excited about just sharing this quick breathing technique that I just came across listening to a podcast, and it's called Breath of Life. And I was like, oh my God, that's really awesome. And she did it just super simple. It was a woman who does like psychic readings or something. And she was just sharing like how people can easily connect with their own with spirit themselves. Like we are spirit, right? I'm sure we're going to get into that a little bit when we talk. But yeah, and it's breath of life. So if you want to join with me, it's super simple, and it's just closing your mouth, breathing in and out through the nose, both nostrils, and just simply you can close your eyes or leave them open, but just kind of getting present, right? Just getting present with your body, with your mind. I'll do a little reminders as we go. So we could just go ahead and start and start breathing in and out through the nose. And however you want to bring that breath into the belly or wherever you notice it is always a nice thing too. Just where do you feel that breathing? Allowing your body to relax. Really feeling that connection while you're sitting or wherever you are. If you're listening, just connecting the breath to the body. And this woman that I heard her calling it breath of life and sharing this, she was just saying, just helps us get present. What a beautiful thing is that. Because when we're present, we're aware. Let's take about 9 more breaths here with the mouth, or I mean, with lips closed and through the nose and out through the mouth, or out through the nose. Just 3 more. One. Okay. Thank you. I always just feel always a little bit of high or sparkly in my eyes when I just take that time to go inward and do a little breathing. So, my dear friend, Juliana, is it Baron or Barone? I never asked you that.
Baron in Spanish,
Barone. Yeah.
but
Okay.
in here would be Baron.
Okay. All right. So, I guess I had it close both ways.
Yeah. And if you like look me up, it gets even more confusing because I still have like my married name, Crest, which it's
Oh,
still on a lot of the material, and so it's Juliana Baron Crest.
ah,
Yeah,
okay.
that
That's
to be
interesting. Well,
changed
good to
soon.
know. Yeah. Yeah. Good to know. Um, So, yeah, just for anyone listening, that Juliana had and I had met years back in like 20, I think we figured 18 it was, before I moved
Mhm.
out to Oregon and after I came back from the cruise ship working as an acupuncturist. And then you would come to one of my holotropic breathwork sessions, and it was really transformative for you at the time. But then we didn't connect for many, many years. And just this year, recently, we met at a networking thing, and we saw each other, and like you actually recognized me, and I was kind of like, I think I know you, but I was like, and then as soon as you said, I was like, oh, okay, absolutely, I remember now. And then we said, let's go have lunch, and you shared with me about your ayahuasca or yahe medicine circle. You'll say the proper name of the experience, and that was something that I had been wanting to do for so long. So knowing somebody really made it like, okay, I'm doing this. Like, I trust you, I know you, and you brought in the shaman from Colombia, where you're from, and yeah, it's just a really incredible experience for me. So I wanted to just have you on because I'm talking about um, the the sacred marriage principle, like Hiroskamos, the sacred union of the self, the masculine and feminine energies coming together. And then that can be so conceptual, but what does it really mean, right? And how do you get to that point in your life, or like what tools and resources can you utilize to feel that, to feel more whole? That's really how I see it, right? There's a lot of names of what we could call it, but it's really feeling more whole. And I thought for sure that the ayahuasca or ya I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep um, is definitely medicine that is helpful for that. So, yeah, I just love to hear just like your experience of how you came to this work, like how you were called to it, right? And then now that you are leading these circles, and what that experience is like for you.
Yeah, well, thank you for bringing me on, and like your curiosity and openness really to incorporating this tool, this path. Like you said, it is one of many paths to that process of wholeness, of integration, of individuation. And my path was really, I was always, I feel, one with the medicine, especially growing up in the land of the medicine, growing up in a way with us, with part of this lineage, indigenous descent, and really through the land, almost like growing up in a parallel world, because this was there always, and this powerful wisdom was such a part of my culture, of my tradition, and was such a part of my great grandmothers and great grandfathers and the generations before them. And something happened where me growing up in the city, with middle class parents, and especially in times like the 80s in Colombia, where, the whole drug, war, and so much conflict, and so many situations of like contrast that really kept us in such a fear, and in such a kind of block, really separate from the vast like wisdom of resources that are exist outside our safety net, of home, safe places, what are not safe places. For instance, traveling was not safe, during many, many years of my upbringing. So venturing out to like the jungle or to meet these cultures, that wasn't even a thing. So I grew up very disconnected from this knowing, and always very like spiritually, I guess, hungry for more, for finding myself, especially because I had this need to heal the trauma from my childhood, from I guess just the upbringing during that time, but so much more, right? That also affected both of my parents, all of our families. It was just an era of very unstable and very violent, and very like um, dark in a way. And I discovered the medicine in around the time, and I want to say it was probably right around the time that I came to your holotropic breath work, maybe even after that. That was a time when a lot of things were, a lot of structures that I had built for myself, for my life, were breaking because they were just not serving me. And it was time for me to get to know myself, and get to be real with myself at a whole deeper level. And I was invited to, so I sat in a ceremony in the land in Colombia where I currently host most of my retreats, and it's a land that is in the Andes near the capital, with in a very safe environment with friends who are uh, now like partners, in this project. And just the sitting was just so incredibly, I guess, it opened me, like crack opened me completely into an awareness of my body, of my mind, um, of my emotions that I never had before at all. It was like um, seeing for the first time in a way, feeling for the first time, and being connected, so connected to the natural world, right? Becoming one with nature, in a way that you could never even imagine of experiencing. And that's why these experiences are so important, so needed for experiences in general of expanded states of consciousness. Because without that click and that connection with the natural world, it's impossible to honor ourselves as natural beings, if that makes sense.
Yes, I agree 100%. Yeah, I get it. Totally. Yeah. No.
So that was really the beginning. And after that, I had another ceremony that I attended here in the US, very, very intense, very different setting. Uh, like 50 people, someone who was not necessarily a traditional, lineage carrier, a shaman. And it was very important for me to, from the get-go, like see that contrast, and understand that why is it so important for me to answer this calling into supporting and walking this path of the traditional medicine work, supporting traditional elders, and people who are carrying this lineage and who have this direct connection, direct wisdom from the spirits of the medicine, from the spirits of the animals, from the spirit of the jungle. And my life took a dramatic change after that because um, I received, like, I had been searching for a meaning. I had been searching not just for a meaning, but for the reassurance that that meaning was there. That before I was very skeptical. Like if I don't know now what I'm supposed to do and what my life is supposed to look like in the next 5 years, then I don't have a meaning. And the truth is, we just have to believe and know innately that it is our birthright, to have that purpose, that meaning, and that it doesn't have to look like this, like one thing. And so that was to me the biggest breakthrough. um, and came back with a lot more, I guess, decision making abilities and strength to move on in the direction that my life needed to move on, which was take a completely turn in my professional life, take chances, take risks, and also in my personal life, take a complete shift that I knew was going to be very dramatic and very difficult because I had a little baby. I had a child of mine that yeah, that was just a whole other path to initiation, right, in life. But this was really like the big breakthrough with those first sittings, and how I was after that first time, there was no, it was clear to me that this was my path of learning. And then later on, it was revealed to me how this needed to be accessible for others. Um,
Wonderful. Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful. So you have well, what do you call it exactly? The weekend, like a retreat? Do you
it's a
call it?
retreat. It is a retreat. It is a gathering. It's a retreat. It's a ceremony,
Okay.
really. So the ceremony in itself is a night-long ceremony.
Yeah.
And normally it can be a day, but in the tradition, especially in the Colombian Amazon, it's overnight, because overnight is when we work with the shadow. This is the work of the shadow, and it's important that we wake up and see the sunrise together and
Mm,
create a new beginning for our life together. See the sun again. So
yeah.
that is
Oh, right. Yeah.
that
So
is
it's kind of like a death rebirth metaphor then.
yes, yes. And as I was thinking about that, also, I was as I was thinking about that, I was also reflecting on how this is so deeply connected with the polarity and the energy of the masculine and the feminine, right?
Mm,
Because we are working deeply connected to the cycles of nature, to our
mhm.
cycles, and we are doing the work with the sun and the moon. The
Okay.
medicine works with the deep surrender that is going into a ceremony, is a surrender that happens through our feminine energy, the
Yeah.
goddess,
Yes.
right? The full surrender, the full jump in the unknown. And then with the sun shining on us, it's time to take action, you know? So that's where that masculine, I'm not staying swimming in the underwaters forever. I'm waking up. I am sitting up and bringing all of this into
Yeah.
into this 3D world, you know?
Yeah, no, I love that because yeah, so well, I'll just share like my experience was like, yeah, like I got a message, right? I know some
Mhm.
people have visuals, but for me, it was very my it was very much I heard a lot in my mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually it didn't stop. I was like, really? I thought I'd get a little break from my brain, but it was all good, right? And it was all like validating and affirming and everything, like you were saying. But so do you have anything else like that, you know, that stands out for you, like that's a theme for people?
Um, can you repeat that last part?
Yeah. So do you have like from, you know, that was just from my one experience, but do you have like a theme of what people experience? A lot of people I know see Mother Ayahuasca. And I just want to point out too, in Colombia, you call it, is it
Yeah. Hey.
Yahe?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know why. I guess because it's spelled Yage that I want to say Yahe or something.
Mhm.
Yahe. Okay. But it's the same, right? Basically, it's just a different strain of the medicine.
Yes, and in realities, every tribe, every community, every region has other plants, you know, besides the two main, I guess, the vine, the plants that are like the foundation of the brew. Other things are incorporated depending on the region, the tribe, you know, the tradition.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So because what I've heard, and I'll tell you why, that I thought for a long time, you know, um, in my holotropic breathwork experiences, I've had experiences with the goddess Inanna, which is the divine feminine. It's, you know, name a thousand names, right?
Mhm.
So um, I was like, well, people are seeing Mother Aya. Is all like a lot of times I heard that. And I
Hmm.
thought, well, I kind of already have that experience, but I don't have to go through the whole um what do you call it? Not cleansing, but something like that is the term, you know.
Like the dieta, the preparation, the detox.
Yeah, well, yeah, all of that. I mean, you want to do that with breath work anyway, but like the yeah, the purge is what I'm saying.
Hmm.
So, and the whole night, nighttime, not that I didn't want to do it, I just didn't feel called. And then finally I was like, oh, you know what? I think I'm ready to do this. And I was looking. It was when like that's when we kind of met and all of that evolved. But so yeah, do you like, is there visuals? And then because I feel like that also is like dreaming, just for people to understand what to
Yeah, it could definitely, it could be so many, there's so many
very organic.
experiences that for each person, right? Because we are all so unique. We all are living through such different process. Many processes are there. And when we open ourselves through intention, through that kind of working on our trust, working on our like fully being open to receive, the medicine will go exactly to the places that it needs to go to remove material that is toxic. Because I like to make the analogy of it's a vacuum. It's like a vacuum. It comes in and it starts going, sometimes you feel it going right throughout your body, physical body. Sometimes that physical sensation is so clear, so vivid, like so raw, right? That it cleanses and it picks up things. And sometimes we have a very physical journey. We are purging a lot, we shake, we have maybe this deep, like a release through like sighing, laughing, crying. And it's all happening physically, right? Like, and a lot of times we're just going into a place of like assessing what's in our mind, what's occupying our mind space. It's very like psyche focus. And those journeys I found are so rich, are so full of insights, but sometimes they're one of the hardest because sometimes it's hard to even handle and sit with all that we've had in our mind. That can be a bunch of overwhelming thoughts, sometimes the voice of the inner judge, the voice of the inner this voice that's always like na, 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 yelling at us on specific themes of our life or in general. These kind of archetypes, maybe these come out so loudly that sometimes it's really overwhelming because we're not prepared for it. But what happens is when you go in with this idea that I am just here to be humble about what shows up for me, and trust, right? If this is showing up, I need to listen to it. And when I don't listen to it and I fight it, and that's the main suffering and the main struggle that many of us face during ceremonies when we fight it. And we're like, no, and we begin to feel extremely anxious and extremely agitated because we don't want to see these things. Sometimes these things are scary. Sometimes they are like, just like it might be all material in like the psyche and the, kind of in the mind space. It could only be material that's energetic and that is like stored in parts of our energetic body or our physical body. And it could have a really big emotional charge that sometimes is a lot. Yeah, especially in those processes where bigger trauma is involved. And so we have to be really like when you feel called to attending a ceremony or retreat, when you feel called to work with the medicine, really the biggest preparation is to be open to receiving all of these. information, and to see yourself and the things that are part of your processes from a lens of unconditional love, of this is all light, part of light, because it's part of me. I don't have to fear anything. It's just being processed because it needs to. I'm ready to release it, or I'm ready to process it. I'm ready to work. I'm ready to see it, in other words. So
Yeah.
those
Right.
are possibilities for everyone. Some people go straight into the psychedelic journey with beautiful, or sometimes not so beautiful, sometimes really intimidating visuals that are, journeys to other realms, to other planes, to other dimensions, to even our own life and our past lives. That is also a possibility if that is what you are, that is what's going to serve you in this moment, to go on this journey and learn from that journey. So it could really be very unique for every person, but the work of preparation is really to open yourself to any of these could be a possibility. And other
Yeah.
people can also just have a very relaxing, deep meditation, or
Mhm.
just have a big physical purge and detox, but not mental or emotional or visual journey. It might just be, I've had ceremonies like that myself, where I
Mhm.
am there, and the invitation and the challenge is to stay with that and accept that is also a powerful journey.
That's so nice. Yeah. Right. You kind of, yeah, you get what you get, right? Kind of where you're at that time in your life, or whatever is going on that your psyche wants you to be aware of, right? To help you grow and transform. And I feel like that's that sacred feminine container that, you know and what makes sense with Mother Aya, right? With earth based, that we can tap into, that brings on that organic, um like shift, or whatever happens with each person is completely different each time, I'm sure. And then that that then helps us even balance, right? So when we're more aware, I know, like what you were saying about the connection with nature, right? When we connect more with nature, then we're going to naturally be more balanced externally, like the aspect of the feminine, right? And yeah, that makes sense to what you said about having, like, holding that space for whatever is going to kind of culminate in our process. And then, then we rise with the sun, and like, there it is. Like, okay, it's undeniable, right? That this is now what your soul, or however people see it, higher self or whatever,
Mhm.
wants you to put into action. Action is so important. If we don't put it into action, then it's just an experience, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is what many people don't know or realize, and we need to have more conversation around that. I aim to really incorporate this into the preparation and into this a message that needs to be received by anyone who's going to participate. Is really the action, but also the accountability for continuing to work through
Yeah.
that process. It's not a one day or okay, the week after, or this is what I heard that I'm going to do, so I'm going to do it, and then I move on.
You don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
all
or you
guilty of
don't
that.
do it at all.
We're all guilty of that. We live busy, super busy lives, right? And so you're
Yeah.
making me think of integration, which I talk about a lot as well. But what I want to kind of steer towards is that in your weekend retreats, that you offer some integration with your beautiful amazing sound bath sessions, which I absolutely just love. And, I want you to share that so I could put it in the show notes of your website with that too. But um, that also, if you just did the shaman's breath facilitator training that I offer. That was just completed in the last couple of weeks, and we had like 2.5 months all to doing different sessions together, and so and I just love that you were there for that. Um,
Mhm.
so you're going to be offering that too, is what I'm saying, is like part of integration in your retreats, which I think is perfect. It's so good to have those aspects of integration that people can have more time to reflect and all of that, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Some things that also like resonate more with some people.
mm,
So,
yeah,
but some people can respond more or are more open to that deeper like work, like the breath work. It is work. You are engaged. You are, and that might be easier for a lot of people to enter into these states to just receive more or maybe just be present. For other people, that's too much work, or it's just something that they have to work towards, and they just really want to do nothing, lay down and receive like the soothing
yeah,
sounds and vibrations, and it's perfect. So yeah, offering both, it's very important for me, like that the sense of or the idea of having like a received through you and your program this trauma and force aspect of it helps me be more aware, you know, more
mhm,
prepared to help those who need
yeah.
additional help.
Yeah, this is so wonderful and interesting to hear you firsthand share your experience. And I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you're really busy as a single mom, so
Yeah,
thank you.
it's beautiful.
So, yeah, how can people contact you? I'd love to hear, or I mean, if you want to just, it's like you got your Instagram, and then I'll put it in all the show notes. But yeah, I'd just love to hear. And what
Yeah.
you have, I know you have one coming up like right away. So
Mhm.
then do you do them every other month, or, how,
So this, thank you. The sound baths and I will start doing breathing circles and incorporating the breathings to some of the local events. Those I do monthly. Normally I do a monthly like community centered event and a women's centered circle. Normally, it's accompanied by cacao. Cacao is another beautiful, powerful, gentle medicine. And I bring my cacao from La Sierra Nevada, which is also a very beautiful territory from the Kogi indigenous people. So I love sharing it and also bringing it to as an introduction to working with these other medicines. So those are Najahe medicines. These are circles, sound, breath, cacao, sharing. And
Mhm.
then the big retreats that are coming is a couple of weekends from now, like on in a few days, we have a local retreat that is happening here a little bit south of St. Pete, Tampa area, and that is going to be with one of my greatest teachers and guides. He's coming all the way from the Putumayo, and you had the opportunity to meet him to receive his medicine. He's beautiful, and so we will have a 2-night retreat open to those who want to come for the whole weekend or one of the 2 nights, Friday or Saturday. And then I have the women's retreat that I still have some spots open. And this is in Colombia, in the Andes, where I had my very first ceremony. And it's a very special 7 days of full immersion with the medicine, with the tradition, with the culture, with the land and nature, and also a lot of the somatic release practices, yoga, waterfalls, like really a lot of inspiration coming from connecting with the arts, connecting with our hands, connecting with the earth. And yeah, it's beautiful. I'm excited to connect with more women who resonate with that. It's very easy to travel to Colombia, like the logistics, the flight, and I coordinate everything. So
Yeah, especially from Florida. Yeah,
yes,
yeah. And Colombia is so great. The people are so nice. I've been there, so yeah, I loved it.
yeah, and the food, so
Mm,
good.
right. Yeah. Well, that sounds wonderful. So I'll definitely get the link and have that available for people to check out because that's coming up pretty quickly next month. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. So again, thank you so much. And I look forward to more time with you. I'm so glad we reconnected. I'm so grateful that we have each other to
yes,
kind of support each other through holding space for people and watching people grow and transform and in our own
yeah.
processes too. So
Wow, thank you so much for your time. And this invitation is so beautiful and special. Thank you for your work, sister. And see you soon.
okay, blessings and be well.
Blessings. Bye.